All right, so now that I have these seats in a good place, although I did repaint the back a bit, there was some issues from when I took the seat belts off. So I'm going to touch that up. So let's just see if I can catch the edges of the back there. Maybe I should tape that all off again. Well, I guess I gotta tape that all off again. Okay.
I'll be back.
So being somewhat of a perfectionist, yeah, I just wasn't happy with the edge I was getting by brush painting. And so I would rather go through the turmoil of adding some masking and then spraying everything out rather than having sort of a crappy, wavy, blobby line. So not everybody would do something this crazy, but for me it makes me happy when I have a nice, concise, sharp edge for whatever needs to have some separation. One thing I want to say is, like, somehow I read the color call out for these seats wrong, and I've painted them olive drab when they should actually be a black, and apparently it was a black leather covering. So I doubt there would be any of this sort of like tonal changing, like from wear or something like that. Also, I could have maybe, if I'd known, made a bit of a sculptural addition to the back seat where there was like these padded seat cushions on there. So this is just me kind of like going through it the first time here and learning as I go. So anyways, what I'm worried about here is just how I was thinking the seat, the front part would wrap around the back. So that's why I'm concerned about the edge. Another thing I'm going to mention is maybe the back of these seats should not be white, but apparently they can be black, or as you saw in that photograph, an olive drab color.
All right, well, how's that for insanity? All right, so let's see. I'm going to use some LePage's wood glue. All right, yeah, the white glue is, I think, a better option.
Photos of these Stuart seats with the seat belts are as rare as hen's teeth, although I did find this example in a book called Inside the Great Tanks.
Our tank is operated by a 4-man crew. Each man knows all 4 jobs. There's the tank commander, who also acts as assistant gunner for the 37mm gun and the coaxial machine gun. A gunner who aims and fires these guns. A bow gunner whose duty it is to fire the bow machine gun. He is also the assistant driver and is called Bob, short for bow gunner. The 4th man is the driver.
All right, so let's let that dry. I painted this white, but it's not full up, because I want to give it a little bit of depth. So we're gonna slap that on there. What I mean by depth is, like, when the hatch is open, this won't jump out so much. It'll be pushed back into the distance somewhat. Hmm. Oh, so finally finished this chair thing. Oh. Okay, let's drop these in, never to be dealt with ever again. Sweet.
So as I was building this and posting it, people were mentioning that perhaps the transmission would not be painted white. It would have been a bare aluminum color, apparently. So you may want to take that on board in your build.
I guess this guy's a little bit skinnier than that guy. So I've got this part done as well and painted in white. And now I need to paint that the olive drab color. So this is all done, step 6. Step 7 is pretty much done. I kind of didn't notice, but you got to cut out or drill out these 2 holes so you can mount this fire extinguisher here. So just keep that in mind. I'm not sure what that means. D-E-C-A. Maybe it's a decal. That's what it is. It's a decal, probably referring to the fire extinguisher. Okay, I've got to put this handle on. I've already glued this onto the front. I've installed that. So now let's get to work on the rear bulkhead that separates the fighting compartment from the engine compartment. All right, well, we're in pretty good shape. Seatbelts are in. Let's pull out this part here. A17. All right. So this should be painted white, because everything else that gets glued on here is not white. Well, there's a few parts here, like this tank goes white, and this strip, whatever that is, goes white, and these things go white. I think I may vary the white just to, you know, add a little visual interest. Maybe these things were manufactured somewhere else and their white was slightly different. All right, so D22. And D24 we need. And D23 we need. Okay, the rest of this stuff is on DA. So DA, what do we need for DA? DA11. Maybe I'll hold off cutting those because it's a bit confusing. All right. Yep, you see that? You gotta be really careful. Let's see if I can repair that. Quite a detailed heat exchanger of some sort. All right, so here's CA37. The drawing is a little bit misleading. It looks pretty skinny in the drawing, but you can see here it's almost quite the piece. All right, now I'm going to glue this on. Okay, so this goes on this side like that. Okay, so here's DA23. Okay, I'm gonna paint some of these hoses, I guess. I don't have any olive green, but I do have this, which I guess will work just as well. So it's not indicated in the instructions, but you know, I think I'm going to paint this tubage the same. Well, I'm not happy with how this looks. I think I'm going to strip it and redo it. All right, well, I've stripped off the paint, and it shows in the instructions that you actually have to remove these 4 bolts here, or whatever they are. They may be for a coming configuration. All right, so let's just tidy that up a little bit. All right, there we go, back to a nice beautiful white. I think it was flawed in the beginning because I think there might have been something on here like a grease or something, and there was some weird stuff going on and it just looked not very good. I'm not going to bother painting these because to paint those just ends up looking pretty bad. And maybe on the real ones they were white. I don't know. One idea I could do is maybe make a press mold of some sort, take a casting of this and sand then all this stuff off and then paint this part separately and then glue that on, but I'm not going to do that. It's too much. Anyway, so that'll go in like that. Once I get everything else glued on. All right, so this part gets glued here. So let's put a little glue on that. Supposed to go right there. Well, I'm going to paint that before I do that. So yeah, that one goes in there too. Like that. So I'm going to paint those separate. So this hole is not wide enough. All right, moving on to step 20. We need to build another ammunition box. So I'm gonna need to clean all this stuff up, and I won't bore you with that. So I'll come back with the parts all cleaned up. So having learned my lesson last time, I try and remember to line these things up properly. So they do have like handy tabs here that you can fit together. All right, so step 20, I've got this together, and there's a base here. All right, that goes to the paint shop for white. Okay, here's the fuel tanks. Okay, so now we're doing 22, which is getting into the fuel tanks. The part doesn't seem to have this cover, this lid, this cap indicated. So I'll have to hunt for that. All right, so then this is the next part. So we've got this built up. Step 20. Step 21, we just add that after we painted it. 22, we get it into the fuel tanks. Not sure what would be in this.
Let's get this straight. In an M5 light tank, you've got a damn good weapon, the 37mm gun. 37 gunners say they can hit anything they can see, and they're not kidding. For accuracy, it's a honey. But in a scrap, a hit isn't enough. It's got to be a knockout and a quick one, because as soon as you fire, you've given away your position. Always remember, hold off until you're within 1,000-yard range, if you have the chance. Then your 37 will knock thin-skinned vehicles and fighter tank and machine gun positions right out of the war. Enemy tanks are a different proposition. They're tough, and the 37 was never intended to work on heavy armor at long range. To do a job on one of these big babies, pick a vulnerable spot, a track, or the weak side arm, and be damn sure you'll hit that spot. Lay on the target, track it, but hold your fire until your range is 400 yards or less.
All right, just stepping back, I'll show you on the instructions here. This is the, it looks like ammo cans for the machine gun.
500, 450, 400, fire.
Sit tight. Stick to your 37 until it's got an even chance. It's a sweet little weapon, and don't forget it. Now let's move back to a nice quiet range and see how that crew learned to get results.
All right, well, I've got the jerry can together as well, but I'm gonna have to clean it up. Now I wonder if
Thanks for joining me on this journey through the intricacies of building a 1/35th scale Stuart M3 light tank. As we conclude part 3 of this Miniart build, we've witnessed the transformation of raw materials into a detailed miniature marvel. Don't forget to check into the channel to catch the next installment of our build series. Feel free to leave your thoughts, suggestions, or questions in the comments below. Until next time, keep building models, keep creating, and let your imagination take flight. So, in the meantime and in between time, that's another edition of Jet Scale Models. Y'all come back now, you hear?